The next question. Are there any times you can think of in which a deck got a support card or cards which made the deck less unique or interesting? He asked plenty. My example is Dark World Silva because of how it over-centralizes the deck around a toxic win condition. In the case of Dark World Silva, it's just a hand loop. Can you think of any?
Okay, well,
even some hot takes?
Relax. Okay, so I feel like this question and the example they gave are a little different.
Oh, okay.
Because this is when a deck got a support card that made the deck less unique or interesting. When Silva was first printed, it was not immediately used as a hand loop card.
Yeah, it's actually funny that they did mention Silva because Silva was not the new support at all. Silva was one of the first Dark World cards that existed. I think it actually came in the set that Dark World debuted in. It's that, so much new support allowed that old card to be exploited. So, you can make that argument. But to just address the general question, I sometimes hate when old decks get new support because what you often find
changes the deck.
Is that the deck just changes.
I think my favorite and, of course, least favorite example is Gladiator Beast.
Yeah.
Glads historically had a time-honored play style of battle tagging is what I always called it. But when they got their kind of like Arc 5 era of support, I picked up the Glad cards, and because Paul had regaled me with tales of Glads for years at that point.
Yeah, I was a big Gladiator Beast fan.
So I picked it all up, and then I proceeded to just cheat out fusion monsters from my extra deck over and over again.
Yeah, like editors kind of just spamming them out.
I was like, this doesn't feel very Gladdy.
Yeah, I know what you mean, where it's tough because what ends up happening in Yu-Gi-Oh! A lot is that at its core, Yu-Gi-Oh!, as we've established, has changed a lot over the years. And different eras of Yu-Gi-Oh! Can sometimes look so unrecognizable from a previous one that, like, when it comes to supporting old decks and old cards, truthfully, most just can't be helped. Like, Glads are trying to do something that fundamentally does not matter in Yu-Gi-Oh! Anymore. It's like getting these small little monsters to be able to kind of attack and then swap and then whatever battle phase. Doesn't work. And so if you want to make Glads work, then you have to take some of the small old aspects of them that were decent and then make new cards that kind of just abuse those few good things that sort of aged okay. And like what that looks like for Glads is editor, usually kind of just summoning out like the new one, Domitian, or not new now, but like Domitianus, and then like Heraclinos, which is like an old Glad that has a spell trap negate.
It was nice to use Heraclinos, but we were only using them for a negate.
You're just using him for the negate, and so it doesn't feel like you actually even like contact fused into him. And there's so many decks that kind of are the same way. Like Six Samurai fit in that kind of in that crowd. I think of to some degree like Lightsworn. Even like I like some of the newer Lightsworn support, but like maybe that's not even like the support. Maybe it's just the way that players choose to use it.
Well, for Lightsworn, I think they just kind of went to Konami enabled us to go to the natural extreme of Lightsworn, which is, well, kind of just mill yourself out and then trigger everything Engrave and go crazy.
I think what it really comes down to for me is that Yu-Gi-Oh! Compresses so much stuff into one turn because that's the expectation. Your deck needs to be doing all that it's going to do in that first turn. Like, whether you're playing some slow-ass Odeon stun or the world's most Cybers combo slot pile, no matter which of those you're playing, they might feel like they're on opposite ends of the playstyle spectrum, but regardless, by the end of the first turn, their goal is to have set it all up. And so, if you want to retrain an old archetype, you have to push it to the extreme of like, how can we give you the Gladiator Beast experience in one turn? How can we give you the Lightsworn experience in one turn?
Mail half your deck in that one turn.
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
More than half, right? More, right? Like it's just because you need to be milling everything, constantly summoning monsters, constantly like overlaying them and making them nervous and synchroing and all this stuff, and will only build in a way to like kind of prevent you from decking out. So like the new Judgment Dragon guys that like kind of prevent your stuff from being banished or they recycle it or however that goes. But like you have to push it to the extreme. And so in that way, it will never be able to really be what you remember of Lightsworns.
Yeah.
It won't be able to be what you remember of Dark Worlds, where it's kind of like a 1 or 2 discards per turn, get a little bit of card economy and some +1s. Oh, I pitched Brow and got like 1 extra draw. I pitched, grin and got a spell trap pop. No, it's going to be like, how many times can I spam Grapha? How many times can I spam this new like rainbow or whatever? Can I rip my opponent's hand out and end on this board of link fours? Because there's no time to play that tango.
Yeah.
So sadly, you get that with so many archetypes.
I have one more example, and that's zombies.
Oh, okay.
It's controversial to say this, but I honestly hate Baylor Drock.
Okay. He was like a 2018 kind of
somewhere
2019
around
era.
there.
Okay.
Like Baylor Drock was such a strong zombie that it now changed the direction of any zombie deck that could be built. Now, if you're playing zombies, you're playing a Baylor Drock deck. Why? He's a strong monster. What does that mean now? Well, now you're playing now when Zombie World was kind of maybe a tech, now you really want to play Zombie World. Which if you're playing Zombie World, you might as well run Rivalry too, because it's a strong board setup. And it's like, okay, if I'm running Zombie World, I'm running Rivalry, I'm running Baylor Drock, so what does that mean? Necro World Banshee, Glow Up Bloom, Unizombie. Like, now your decks are getting really homogenous. When I started playing my zombies, it was a very simple level 8 synchro spam strategy. I wasn't making zombie synchros, I just make generic synchros. And the deck felt very flexible because as we got different cards, I was able to like tech in things like Dark Arm Dragon, and we got Malicious, and I was able to do all these different things.
So you weren't a big Baylor Drock?
Because Baylor Drock then kind of just forced zombie decks to all look the same.
Yeah. I will say, like, one shout out, I think in the bone support, the recent bone support, I think deserves a lot of credit for trying to be its own thing and not just fit into the Baylor Drock soup. Mm-hmm. Like, you can obviously still run it. I'm sure there are lots of builds that do. But I like they gave enough cards that feel like they are self-sufficient and don't just want you to, like, okay, Zombie World again. Like, so.
But I guess even back then, Mizuki was kind of our guy who kind of
Goblin Zombie, Mizuki.
So I guess that's fair.
Plague Spreader. That's one.